Meet Keith, loving dad, board game champ, bus driving pro.
I drive 65,000 miles in my bus each year. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like how there are some things I simply can't see. On my route the other day, a car tried to sneak past me and ends up right in my blind spot. I turned slowly, so accident avoided. But no car should be in the blind spot for a 40,000-pound bus. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
Joining us now on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, a friend of the station, an employee of the station, Stevenson Sylvester, former Utah, I almost said BYU, former Utah linebacker, but he can talk BYU. And I also did some TV work with him a couple of weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for putting up with me, Sly.
Oh, man, I ain't putting up with you. We're enjoying each other's company, my brother. Enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, you guys are doing a show called The Front Row with Sam and Jeremiah from Channel 5 that you guys do once a week, right?
Oh, yes, man. Absolutely love it. And hopefully we can do it more times a week. There's so much sports to talk about. It's kind of hard to talk about a week's worth of sports in one episode per week. So, man, I'm hoping that we increase that to multiple days. But, yeah, we just got it started here this month. And so looking to, of course, get more episodes per week. I think we'll be able to cover all the different things, especially the Utah market, right? The Utah market is just so much. It's so beautiful. So much stuff to talk about from college sports. Even high school is great, right? We got so many local athletes that are doing some amazing things that we want to talk about, man. So, but absolutely love it. Anytime you're able to talk about sports, it's a good day.
Oh, I agree 100%. I've had a fun time doing this radio show all these years, and our market really is exploding big time into a great sports market. It was already great, and it's getting greater. And if they should get Major League Baseball in a few years, it'll grow even greater than it is now. And it's a lot of fun. It's about to really kick in with the opportunity to talk about the football teams. And one of the things, and we'll get to it, what really piqued my interest when I was doing the TV, you brought something up. What I wanted to talk to you first off is we know NFL camps are getting underway, and we've got a lot of players here from our state schools that are trying to make teams, some as drafted guys, some as undrafted guys. Now, you had an opportunity, I believe you were drafted and played several years in the NFL. When you go into camp at the start of it, not anything that you've done earlier, but I'm talking about the training camp that starts in July. If you're a first-round pick versus an undrafted guy, how are people treated in that way in terms of your status when you're a rookie going into the actual camp?
Man, it's so funny because my first year with Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, you know, when you're growing up, all the coaches always say everybody's the same. The quarterback's the same. The freshman is the same. They always say everybody's on the same level foot, on the same playing field. When I went to the Steelers, Mike Tomlin made it clear. He's like, y'all ain't the same. Ben Roethlisberger isn't the same as Antonio Brown coming in. Y'all ain't on the same level. Y'all got to earn it. And he made it known. And I mean, I agree with that. You got to put your time in. And so it is very different. But here's the thing is you do have opportunity. And that's the thing. And when you're undrafted, it's best to go to a team where you have the best opportunity to make that team, right? They don't have enough numbers there. They were slacking in that area. There's a new coaching staff. There's a lot of different things you want to look into to make sure that that's the team that you want to go to when it's time to say, like, I'm an undrafted free agent. I want to sign with this team. There's tons of local guys, right? We have tons of stories of local guys undrafted that ended up making strong careers, you know, after the fact, man. And so There is opportunity. Just know that nothing is given to you. You got to go out there and take it. This is the thing that I tell everybody that I train with, that I communicate with. You don't have friends. So don't go out there looking and look like, oh, I'm a buddy up with this guy. Oh, I want to go do 6 a.m. workouts. You do not have friends. The veterans aren't your friends. The other rookies aren't your friends. The other undrafted free agents aren't your friends. The administration isn't your friends. Nobody's your friends. You got to go out there like you're a one-man army and go make it happen. And when you do that, they will respect you then, and then they'll bring you in, and you'll slowly come in. But when you're first there, you got no friends. You got to go out there like you're a one-man army.
You came out of Utah at 2010, off the 2010 team, and you were a fifth-round draft choice. So that's sort of maybe a little back end, but, fifth round's pretty good. Did you feel like, wow, I need to really make an impression so I actually make the team? Or did you think that I just need to show my stuff and not worry about making the team because I'm going to make it?
No, I took it. I mean, all of it. To answer your question, I took all of it, right? I took it as like I need to do something to make a team. But also, my situation was kind of unique, right? I was drafted in 2010 in the fifth round. And, the Steelers had won the Super Bowl just a year or two before that, right, when they beat the Cardinals. And so I'm just like, what the heck do they need me for? They got defensive MVP in James Harrison on this team. They got Troy Polamalu. They got Ike Taylor. They got Brett Kiesel. They got all these guys who are legends, still in their prime, still doing well on this football team. The linebacker room itself, they had already drafted 2 linebackers in the second and in the fourth round ahead of me.
Oh.
What do they – so the linebacker room, they run 4 deep, right? It's a 3-4 defense, and they have 15 linebackers heading into training camp. That means 7 – they only run a 2 deep, right? You can only carry the 4 starters and then 4 backups after. You got 15 guys. 7 guys are getting cut, right?
Yeah.
I'm a rookie. They already drafted 2 guys ahead of me that they're paying more than me. All the veteran guys are paying ahead of me. Why would they want to keep me was my mindset. So I'm just like, okay, I need to do good so I can sign with another team. If I do good in the preseason and I know when the Steelers cut me, that somebody else is going to pick me up. One of the teams I played against, or hopefully somebody's going to notice my tape. So my whole deal was I wanted to get some tape that I can send to other teams that I know that I can play for them, right? And it turned out that I did so well that the Steelers were like, we got to keep this guy. And they ended up keeping 9 linebackers that year, something they never do. And so they kept me, and I ended up being a huge contributor on the way to the Super Bowl that year, in 2010, man. So, and that's what I say is just like you got to understand, you got no friends. You got to go out there and make it happen. You got to study your playbook because the thing with being in professional sports is there's no like, oh, we'll give you another shot tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no next year. There's no development in the NFL. If you're not contributing right now, you're out. You're at my locker. The locker next to me was a revolving door, right? I felt like there was a new person in that locker every single week. It was so crazy throughout my years in Pittsburgh. And honestly, it felt like a thing where they were trying to send me a message or something. Like, you could be the next guy. They're going to put the revolving door locker or next to you or something like that. So you're always on your toes in the NFL, especially your rookie year, man. But you got to go in there with the mindset that I got to go take it and make it on your own, man. And then come. Of course, you got to play within the confines of the team because that's a part of doing your job. But essentially, you got to be like, I don't have any friends on this team.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept that you had as far as if I don't make it here, I'm probably not going to make it here. But rather than have a defeated attitude, as a numbers game, and the numbers weren't working in your favor as they weren't for half the guys. And so you weren't alone. There was several guys, but you felt you had that insight, maturity, whatever, to think that, well, if I don't make it here, get myself some good tape, and so then I'm basically auditioning for all the other teams. I think that looking back at that time, that was a rather shrewd way of thinking, and then maybe that helped you relax and you weren't uptight as far as, oh my gosh, I got to play great today. No, I got to do what I can do. Probably not going to make it here, but I still got a chance over there and all these other places. And I'm amazed that you were able to think that at such a young age.
Yeah. Actually, that's exactly how you had to think about it. For me, there was nothing else. That was all I had. It was kind of like I was a hobo. I just had my one bag, and I go to camp, and like, this is all I got. I got no home to go to. I moved out of Salt Lake, so I don't have to go back to Salt Lake. I got no house in Vegas. I got nothing outside of this. And that was the mentality that I had. It's like, look, I got my backpack. Y'all shipping me somewhere. It's whatever. I'm good. I got everything that I need, but I'm going to take care of today, right? And so I had everything. I didn't have anything anywhere else. Everything was with me. That means my mind was right there. My mind was right there in Pittsburgh. My mind wasn't anywhere else. My mind was right there in my playbook. My mind was right there every practice, right? There was no outside dots that were going on, and that helped me so much at being present, right? And that was one thing that Mike Tomlin also said is be here, right? You're here, be present, and forget all that outside noise, whatever's going on, whatever house, whatever family drama, whatever relationship drama you got going on. When you're here in this building today, you are here, you are present. And I'm telling you, if you're able to kind of hone that mentality in, and basically anything, it doesn't have to be football. You can do that in life, right? If you're able to hone that mentality and be present, the success comes after that.
Stevenson Sylvester, former Utah linebacker, longtime NFL linebacker, and does a lot of work for KSL in the sports area, joining us right here in 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. When it came down to it, cut down day, and you were one of the survivors, what was your emotions?
It's so weird, and I hate it, because they don't tell you that you made it, right? And so you're just waiting for a phone call the whole time. They're just like, we call you, this and that, but if we don't call you, you're good, right? And so you're just waiting for that call, and like you don't know. You're like, so am I good? Like, I go back into the facility. Nobody was like, hey, good job, you made it. No, it's just like I'm waiting for somebody to come here like, hey, like on the old Apollo, Showtime Apollo, where they have the guy come and bring people off the stage when they suck. Yeah. That's what I was waiting for. I'm waiting for the GM, security, somebody to come grab me and is like, what are you doing in here?
Get out.
And but nobody ever did. And so I was just like, okay, business as usual. I swear, that whole day, you're just looking around waiting for somebody to come at you, right? Am I supposed to be in this meeting? You walk into a meeting room, you look around. Does anybody say anything about me being here? And the veterans don't know either. So they look at you, well, this rookie's still here. That means he made the team. And so it's just such a weird day. But after that day is over and you did make it, I went to the parking lot, man, and I'm just like, I just let out this huge gasp and just been like, man, it's awesome. But it took the entire day, right? I'm waiting for the entire day for somebody to kick me out. Because even then, it still happens because I've seen it where cut day happens, and even that day and even the next day, they're still making cuts. They're still making waiver transfers and all this other stuff is still happening. So it's not just because you made it at that hour that it's over. Football is forever. As I said, the locker next to me was revolving all year long. So that's the thing about the NFL that sucks is the guaranteed contracts and all this stuff is not a thing. And so you're always on your toes and it causes some real mental trauma sometimes about you always worrying about stuff.
Yeah. Trevor Riley told me a story. He said, well, if you don't hear from us on Monday or Sunday, I think that means you come in Monday and you made the final cut. And then he told me, then he goes in on Tuesday and they had the waiver wire and they picked up somebody at his position off the waiver wire and then put him on the practice squad. So he had the elation of going to bed thinking that he was going to be on the final roster, the active roster, and then going in the next day and finding out, well, they picked somebody up who had been waived from team wherever. And so now he was back on the practice squad. So he had the high and low in a span of about 12 hours.
It sucks. The communication is so bad, and you're really just figuring stuff out. That's why, like, if you just got your bag and you're ready to go wherever, and you just got a present mentality, I think it's way more successful. It sucks because who wants to live like that? But at the end of the day, football, they say it's not for long.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. You got to sacrifice for however many times, years, or whatever. If you can do that and be able to control your mind and all that stuff, that is a talent that they don't really teach you about or let you know you need to have. But, yeah, exactly. You can go through highs and lows. Just like Trevor said, it literally happens like that. And sometimes quicker. You could be in the middle of the night, midnight, and they send you a text. That sucks. But, yeah, it is really like that, and it stinks. And that's why there's no guarantees. And anytime somebody says something, you got to continue to keep pressing on and working.
Stevenson Sylvester, former BYU or Utah linebacker, joining us. I got BYU and Utah on my mind because I want to talk to you about college football. Dream scenario for somebody like me in the local media would be that first Friday in December to have the Utes and the Cougars play each other for the Big 12 title down at the Cowboy Stadium. I'll take either one. I definitely want either one. But if I could pick, I would take two, but I'd take both of them. I think that would just set our market on fire. And it would actually do well, I think, wonders for both teams because, wow, man, they're playing each other. They're only 40 miles apart, 45 miles apart. I need to check that out, and I think it would be a boon for recruiting locally and across the country. Now, my thought for you, you've seen these teams and all that type of stuff, and you can evaluate talent. What level of possibility? It's probably a long shot, I get it, but do you think that each, maybe individually, if not both, can get there, that individually one or the other has the talent to be one of the two teams surviving when we get to the end of the Big 12 season?
Well, here's the thing is I don't think it's a long shot. I think in the next 3 years we're going to have that exact matchup. And that was what it was in the WAC. That's what it was in the Mountain West. It came down to the Holy War game. There wasn't a championship game in those conferences, but now ever since we had a championship game, it's that. Like I could imagine if BYU was in the Pac-12, how many times Utah and BYU would have matched up. That's what's so great about these two universities. They hate each other so much that they're both so equal that, when they're good, they're both good. And it always comes down to this game, man. So absolutely love that they're back in the same conference and making this happen. But I think within the next 3 years, we're going to see this matchup here in the Big 12 championship, if not this year, right? You got two amazing rosters, man. You go through this roster and you look at position group, from offense to defense, from coaching staff and all of that. These two teams are so primed and ready to face each other in the Big 12 championship that it's paramount. It's an amazing time to be a U fan. It's an amazing time to be a Cougar fan and make this happen, man. But I think that is very possible this year. The way the schedule aligns for both of these teams, they're going to get tested along the way. That'll ramp them up for that last quarter of the season, right? We always put the season into 4 quarters, right?
Yeah.
The first 4 games, the second 4 games, the first 3 games, and 4 games like that. Right. And so the last quarter of the season, everybody's going to be tested up to that point to being like, okay, we're primed and ready to go to be in position for this Big 12 championship. Utah schedule, right? I think they got a really good schedule with an early SEC test at home, which helps them. They got a tough away game, which, going up to Ames, Iowa, I heard that is definitely different territory. I know they're not going to have the team that they had last year or the year before, but especially they're all at Penn State now. Right. But going into Ames, Iowa is not going to be easy, right? And then coming home and facing Houston and then going across people don't understand how difficult it is to travel to the East Coast, right? We played West Virginia last year. That was such a weird transition, and we ended up actually having to fly out on Thursday to play Saturday, so we didn't have any mess-ups. But, hopefully they do that the same thing with Cincinnati this year. But going all the way to the East Coast is not an easy thing, especially that game's on Halloween, and hopefully we're not looking forward to the BYU game the next week. But, going into that Holy War, I think the Holy War game on November 7th is going to tell the tale for the entire Big 12 conference. right, for a lot of teams. And so from the Arizonas, the BYUs, the Houstons, the TCUs, the Texas Techs, a lot of things are going to revolve around that Holy War game on November 7th. And after that, we'll have really clear-cut picture of who should be in the Big 12 championship, which I think we might get both 8-0 teams heading into that game.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Somebody's going to be 8-1, somebody's going to be 9-1, and then they win out the rest of the season, and hopefully Texas Tech slips up somewhere, Arizona at home, something like that, and we get some spookiness and we get that Holy War again rematch in the Big 12 championship this game. That would be so awesome, and so really looking forward to that.
I agree. I'm looking forward to that, too. I'm looking forward to the start of the season and most definitely looking forward to November. That's going to be a great time for both teams, and hopefully they both do well, as you say, and maybe we can see that. So anyway, Sly, thank you for your time. We appreciate you joining us right here on the KSL Sports Zone.
You're the man. Thanks, PK.
All right. That's Stevenson Sylvester, former Utah linebacker who does a television show on YouTube with Jeremiah and Sam on Channel 5 called The Front Row. You can check that out. All right, stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.